The Astros are exhibiting domination in the AL West, with eyes on another brilliant season.
The Houston Astros are world champions!
But the Rangers and Mariners hold the brush that will paint the playoff picture.
What a sweep for these Texas Rangers.
The Mariners win the series.
The suspense unfolds, with each team aiming to craft a masterpiece and outshine the other.
Yeah, this is the biggest home series of the season for the Rangers. Rangers baseball presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. It's the final home series of the season for the Rangers. Identical record with the Seattle Mariners here at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Somebody will emerge with a better record, and that will have some pretty big meaning when you take a look at the standings in the American League West. Houston still on top, but look at the Astros, Rangers, Mariners, all with 68 losses. It's as tight as you can possibly get into the final 10 games of the season. Well, welcome into the booth, everybody. It's great to be with you tonight. I'm Dave Raymond with CJ Nitkowski. This is what we do it for all year long, right? This is what we wanted. Meaningful games in the final couple weeks of the season. Well, it is here. The Rangers have quite the task ahead of them. They know exactly what they have to do. The good news for them, though, CJ, we saw in that last series, they got a couple of their regulars back in that lineup, and they look to be full strength.
Yeah, they certainly do. Of course, at the beginning of the season, this offense was on fire and became kind of the hallmark of this team, their ability to score runs, especially at the top of the lineup. Marcus Semien, of course, has been doing it all year long, leading off, and Corey Seager right behind him. It's been an incredible 1-2 punch, but the Rangers are healthy again. Very important to get Adolis Garcia back in the lineup the way that they did on Monday, and the same thing for Josh Jung. So things looking pretty good once again for this lineup that leads the American League with 5.5 runs scored per game. On the flip side of things, though, the Seattle Mariners can pitch. It is a very young pitching staff, especially in the rotation, but it is a very good one as well. They've done a really nice job both out of the rotation again and into that bullpen as well. So that'll be the challenge for the Rangers in this series. 3.70 ERA. That is the best in the American League.
Well, the Rangers poised to square off with Seattle 7 times in these next 10 games. And, well, what's happened since we last saw them? It's been a minute, as the kids say. Let's check in with Emily.
Yeah, it is a bit of an oddity in the schedule, the fact that they play 7 of the last 10 against these Mariners, but it kind of works out to their advantage because they're neck and neck with them. It couldn't get any closer. And so when you look at the way these two match up, it definitely favors the Rangers. But you got to remember, this was back in June when these two faced off, so it's been a minute since these two have gone head-to-head. But Texas with a decided advantage thus far in the season series, as we can see in our Shiner Box Spotlight. You can't ever really tell, you know, with all that time that's passed, if the same results are going to happen. But what we do know is these two teams are fighting for something very similar, and both think they have an opportunity. It's up to the Rangers to, I guess, maybe take a commanding presence or a commanding lead in this thing by taking care of business here at home, CJ.
Yeah, they certainly do. The way I see this thing, Dave, and looking at the remaining 7 games between the Seattle Mariners and the Texas Rangers, the Rangers need to win at least 4 of them, right? To gain a game on the Seattle Mariners at minimum. Otherwise, you're going to put it in other teams' hands. And what happens in that other series? After this, the Seattle Mariners welcome in the Houston Astros to Seattle. The Rangers go to Los Angeles to play the Angels. And so taking care of business is what becomes most important, and winning outright these next 7 games, at least 4 of them, I think is going to matter. Now tonight for the Texas Rangers, in charge of leading this thing off in the right way is going to be Dane Dunning, the right-hander with his 157 innings. That leads the team right now. 10-6 record for Dane Dunning. You can see his strikeouts and his walks there so far this year. He's done a great job with the ground ball rate at 47%. Now we talk about the pitch arsenal for Dane Dunning. It's brought to you by Daspit Law Firm. And how about this pitch arsenal that we have seen from him all year long? 91-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball for Dane Dunning. Got the slider, cutter, changeup, curveball, and 4-seam fastball in there as well. He has allowed 19 home runs so far this season. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Rangers defense behind Dane Dunning here this evening. Brought to you by Rally House. It's Evan Carter, Leody Taveras, and Adolis Garcia in the outfield. Josh Jung, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, and Nathaniel Lowe are in the infield, with Jonah Heim behind the plate doing the catching.
Well, Seattle comes into town, and they have very similar thoughts to the Rangers when it comes to this series. They feel like, well, if they can take 4 or 5 games in these final 7, and they will lead it off with J.P. Crawford at short, Julio Rodriguez red hot in center field bat second, and Cal Raleigh will do the catching at bat third. It's Hernandez, Suarez, Kelnick in the middle. Ty France at first, Canzone the DH, and Josh Rojas at second base will bat ninth for the Mariners. Well, here we go. Buckle up, folks. We got 10 amazing days ahead of us. Rangers and Mariners tonight. First pitch grounded to shortstop. Semien is there. 1 pitch, 1 out, and we're underway. Hard to do a whole lot better than that to start a game if you're Dane Dunning. And from the Rangers standpoint, the quicker the outs that he gets, the better as we move along here tonight. 74 degrees with the roof closed, AC pumping, and Julio Rodriguez takes strike 1. It's 94 degrees outside. It's cooled down so much here lately, and it's still pretty warm. And there's a good slider. Swung on and missed for strike 2.
Aggressive here early on are the Seattle Mariners. Julio Rodriguez took a look at a fastball and chased a pretty bad slider there. Why not try it again?
He gets a small piece of it this time. Stays 0-2. Well, this is the guy that you focus on right now when you look at this Mariners team. Julio Rodriguez, he is the defending Rookie of the Year in the American League, and the guy who is putting together an argument to be a part of that MVP voting. 0-2, and a grounder, third base. Young has it, straightens, fires in time, and Rodriguez turned back.
You mentioned, David, exactly what you want to see from Dane Dunning is getting these guys in swing counts and keeping the baseball on the ground. And 2 up, 2 down as he gets Julio Rodriguez out front a little bit, and a nice play by Josh Young.
So Cal Raleigh now, catcher for these Mariners, and he takes low for a ball. Raleigh, a switch hitter. And Dunning's 1-0 pitch to him. That's popped foul back behind the plate. 1-1. He was a hero last year for this Mariners team, and he's been really productive again at the plate. 29 home runs, 71 RBIs. And he bounces this one right side. Another ground ball out for Dunning. How about an 8-pitch first inning for the Rangers right-hander? Can't get much better than that to start it off tonight. Rangers coming to bat. In fact, all weekend as we get ready to go here, bottom of the first inning for the Rangers. Scoreless top of the first for Seattle. The Rangers a half game back of Houston. It'll be Semien at second, Seager at short, Lowe at first base. Young, Garcia, Heim in the middle of the order. Garver DH today. He'll bat 7th. Taveras in center, and Evan Carter, the rookie in left field, bats 9th.
Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's starting pitcher stats. They're brought to you by Daspit Law Firm, and taking a look at the young Bryce Miller, 8-5 record so far here in his rookie season. You see that note on the bottom. This is a guy that throws a lot of strikes, but a lot of pitches inside the strike zone. 54% for him, as the 4th highest among starters with at least 23 starts this year. The pitch arsenal that you get from this right-hander, 95-mile-an-hour 4-seam fastball is the pitch he throws the most, and it's a good one. Slider, sweeping slider, 2-seam fastball, and changeup all in the mix as well.
He's set to go. His first pitch to Semien, and it's a good fastball. And there for strike 1. We know Marcus is ready to hit the moment he steps in that batter's box, but he let that one go. 25 homers, 95 RBIs, and he takes a slider in the dirt. What a terrific year Marcus has had now, and he's had a big homestand, 5 for 11 in that series against the Red Sox with a home run and a double. Drove in 6 runs in that series, and he hits this one hard center field. Rodriguez, though, will have room And he makes the catch. One away.
Well, if you're going to go after the fastball, that's where you want to go after it. If you see it in the bottom half of the zone, you mentioned Marcus hitting that ball hard, 100 miles an hour off the bat, and we say that because Bryce Miller with that good fastball, it is spinny. It's got the highest spin rate of any four-seam fastball in baseball. And so that means it's got good carry on it and that it plays well up in the zone. Tough to get to that pitch when it is up.
Well, Corey Seager bats now. And he hammers a ball high in the air, deep out to right, gone! And Corey Seager launches one in the first. Rangers with the first volley in this series. It's 1-0.
I'm not sure you could throw a worse pitch to Corey Seager to start an at-bat. A fastball right down the middle. Nobody more aggressive in the game early in the count than Corey Seager. He is locked in. He's having a huge season, and he destroys that fastball.
That guy wanted it just 2 or 3 rows deeper is all. Nathaniel Lowe now. And he'll take strike one. 32nd homer of the year for Corey Seager. Man, oh man. And that's downstairs. 1-1 to Lowe.
It's fun, right? We mentioned with Miller, and he's a high in zone percentage guy. I mean, he's coming right at hitters. But you don't do that to Corey Seager. He will make you pay.
1-1 pitch, and that's inside. Well, you know, you say that, but he's certainly welcome to try it again.
I mean, it almost felt a little Bull Durham. Well, you hadn't seen my fastball. Well, he has now.
2-1, and Nathaniel hits that hard down the left side, foul. 2-2. Lowe with 16 homers, 79 RBIs. He continues to turn in really good at bats. The 2-2 pitch to him, and he bounces it by the mound to second base. Circling in behind it, Rojas, and he throws out low. 2 away in the first inning.
Let's go ahead and take you back to Wednesday. Of course, we saw Josh Jung activated on Monday, and Wednesday showing off that power. This was a really impressive home run from Josh Jung. It was a pitch that was middle in. He kept the hands in and drove it into that Ranger bullpen. And good to have him and that guy right there, Adolis Garcia, both back in this lineup. He has just been kind of bouncy, right, since he's been back. A little more animated, especially when he's playing defense. You can really see the energy. Josh Jung missed baseball when he was out.
Well, he takes a hard sweeper that caught the corner there for strike one. .23 homers and 70 RBIs for the rookie. And he'll take a fastball on the corner. 0-2. Well, we've got the great fans out in section 133 tonight as well, out in right center just beyond the Rangers bullpen, and they're excited and making noise here early on. Miller with a long look, the 0-2. And that's ball one. So Miller surrenders the homer. 25 years old. It's his 24th start of the year, and this is lined out to right field. That's a base hit for Young. That splits the outfielders and gets to the wall. Young with his 25th double of the year.
We showed you the home run on Wednesday, and this swing is very similar. It's a two-seam fastball. They're trying to get in. They didn't get it in far enough, but you don't see Josh Jung get pull happy. We knew this about him when he came out of the draft and coming out of Texas Tech, his ability to use all fields, and he hits this nice hard line drive to the opposite field for a double. Well,
the Jungle Cat, and He's made a big difference in his brief time back. He bluffs off second. And that one inside to Adolis Garcia. Garcia's made a difference as well. Third in the league with those 35 homers. That's 1-1. He's second in the league with the 102 RBIs. Now Bombi back off the 10-day injured list for that series against Boston. Strained patellar tendon. Miller's 1-1, and that's in the air, right side, heading foul, and on a play.
Tomorrow is his bobblehead day. Is that correct? Does that sound right?
I believe so, yeah.
You're going to want to get here early. If you like drip and gold, you're going to want to be here.
He's got some style. A little flash.
Stayed away from the yellow and pink shoes, though, today. The ones that he wore on Wednesday.
Yeah. This one in the air, short right field. That should be playable for Hernandez. He gets to it, and the inning is done. But a good first. Dunning was great at the top of the first, bottom of the first. Who else? Corey Seager for the 32nd time this year, and the Rangers lead 1-0.
That guy, Corey Seager, here in the top of the second, and the Rangers with their final off day of the regular season yesterday. Bruce Bochy said it did come at a good time as they gear up for these final 10 games. Got the bullpen back on track. This time of year, pretty much everyone is dealing with something. Cited Corey Seager in that, you could call it a Seager slump, because really it's not exactly a slump, but he was on such fire earlier in the year. Had slowed down a little bit. Looks to be by the way he started this first inning that things might be back on track.
Seager slump declared over, and that was it, and wasn't a bad one at all as he crushed that fastball in the first inning. You're going to go through your lows, of course, little dips here and there, but he's having a huge season. That's it, final off day, and they brought up a good point, talking to Boch today about it, and just make the best of it. Gear up, because it's also, a trip where you're going out west after this.
Yeah,
which is tough on the body.
Hard ground ball to third. Wow, nice stop by Young. Good throw, and Hernandez retired. That thing was absolutely crushed. 104 miles per hour, one away.
And not only that it's hit hard, that we know on this surface it's going to play fast. And you can see Josh Young with his little pre-pitch hop and how important that is to put himself in a good position. It was right on him, and he makes it look easy.
So Eugenio Suarez now. And Dunning deals upstairs with ball one. Suarez comes up empty. 1-1. Now he still has good power, Eugenio Suarez. It's a down year of sorts for him, though. 21 home runs and 89 RBIs. And he's in a hole 1 and 2. And we're on the cusp of seeing something that Mariners fans have seen a lot of this year with Suarez. 200 strikeouts already. Most in the league.
Oh, wow.
And make it 2-0-1. He goes down looking, 2 away.
That is some 4D chess right there from Dane Dunning and Jonah Heim after swinging and missing and looking bad on some sliders. That's a changeup. That's not a freeze-me fastball. That was a changeup at the bottom of the strike zone. Well done by the battery. How about that number right there, right on time for Dane Dunning? 38% of his strikeouts have come looking. That was the highest percentage in Major League Baseball. Now this is a quick visit from the trainer and Mike Maddox. Of course, that's Matt Lucero, head athletic trainer. I think they saw Dane Dunning spin off the mound after that strikeout. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't any injury there. I think he kind of pointed down and said maybe something on the mound. Let's take a peek here. They just didn't like that little kind of grimace there, but he said he was fine. Yeah, you could see he just got his cleats caught a little bit and still delivered an amazing pitch.
Now with a breaking ball outside to Jared Kelenic. Kelenic, 11 homers, 47 RBIs, and he'll take downstairs. Kelenic, a guy, became very heralded. He's received a lot of publicity over the years, but it's been an up and down run for him, at least as a Seattle Mariner. Well, the numbers, no doubt, not anywhere near where he would want them. The 3-0 pitch, he will take ball 4. He does do a pretty good job of controlling the strike zone that way in terms of walks. He has like a 9% walk rate, and he'll take the free pass here. And he's on for Ty France. France, another right-handed hitter. They've got 4 lefties, 4 righties, and a switch hitter in the lineup today. And France takes low. 249 average for him with 10 homers. Dunning checks first and delivers right on the outside corner. That's a strike. 1-1. Sean Barber, our plate umpire tonight. Jim Wolf, Alan Porter, Mike Malinsky, the other 3 from first to third. And that's strike 2.
A little surprising from France. You mentioned for him, I think kind of a little bit of a down year. They've been looking for a little bit more out of him and what they've gotten in the past. But the thing that jumps off the page for me, the struggles that he has had, the fastball this year. Hitting just 202 against the right-handed fastball for a guy with some pop in his bat. That is really surprising to see.
1-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. A strikeout of France completes the inning. Dunning with a couple of Ks in the second.
And he takes advantage of the fact that there has been some struggles on the heater, and he elevates his fastball here to Ty France, and you can see that barrel right underneath for the punch-out. Bryce Miller against the Rangers. This was on June 4th here at Globe Life Field, and they did some damage against him. Just 2 1/3 innings, and he gave up 7. And how about the way the Rangers attacked him? And that's a great chart. You can see those hits all over the place. 4 doubles and a home run. 3 singles in there as well. So the Rangers would love to do some of that same here tonight against Bryce Miller.
Miller, a Texan, went to Texas A&M after a short stay at Blinn College there in Brenham. And he starts a breaking ball in there for strike 1 to Jonah Heim. Jonah, 18 homers, 90 RBIs. What a year for the Rangers catcher. And that's up and out. 1-1 the count. Miller went to New Braunfels High School, graduated there in 2017 before moving on to Blinn. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. He went to Blinn as a position player. He didn't pitch for the first time until his senior year of high school. Eventually then on to A&M, where he became a very successful pitcher, and then drafted in the 4th round. The Mariners quickly moved him along. The 1-2 pitch. This one fouled back.
And that's been part of their development process in Seattle, and you see a lot of the teams that have AAA teams in the Pacific Coast League is that you don't see a lot of the pitchers get to AAA. You call them up either directly from AA or maybe a start or 2 at AAA. And why? Because you have a much tougher pitching environment in that Pacific Coast League. There's just 10 organizations that have teams in the PCL. And he's another one, a good example of a Mariners pitcher who's never thrown a pitch in AAA but is in the big leagues.
Heim stays alive at 2-2. It looked like he wanted a brief break there. 4 seconds on the pitch timer. And now is 2-2 to Jonah. And this is up the middle, and that is a base hit. So Heim starts the second with a hard single up the middle. And the Rangers have yet another base runner.
Talk often about how sometimes a pitcher can get in the way and makes a mistake in trying to reach for a ground ball. Maybe he deflects it, it turns into an infield single. But Bryce Miller was the only one that had a shot at it. It looked like he was maybe going to catch this baseball. He just kind of missed it, and there's plenty of room there for that ground ball to get through.
Good 7-pitch at bat to start the inning for Jonah. Here's Garver, the DH tonight, and he'll take strike one. Mitch went 1 for 3 in Wednesday's finale against the Red Sox. Homered in that one. He also walked, was hit by a pitch. And he'll take a little bit up, 1-1. Wednesday's game seemed like a big one for the Rangers. The 15 runs on 16 hits, and guys like Mitch Garver and others, it kind of got him back on track. Garver had fallen into an 0 for 12 prior to the game. And he takes high here, 2-1.
That's not been a good pitch so far here early on. That's that sweeping slider, the slower version that's supposed to have more horizontal movement on it, but twice in a row that Bryce Miller has tried to throw in that pitch to Mitch Garver, and he's leaving it hang out there on the arm side, finishing up and in when it should be finishing down and away.
2-1. Garver takes a strike. That one does get in there. That's a big, strong right-handed hitter in the lineup today against the righty Bryce Miller. Takes outside. He hits for a much higher average against left-handed pitching, but all 18 of Garver's homers have come off right-handed pitchers.
That's amazing. Wow. He's got a lot of room on the right side of the infield if he does hit a ground ball.
Well, he swings through the fastball, and that strikeout is the first of the game for Miller. 1 away.
That's the go-to. 94 miles an hour here from Bryce Miller, and once again the really good carry that he gets on it, that's going to play up more than just what you see from a velocity standpoint, again because of that spin. The bulk of his strikeouts coming into tonight, 78 of his 113 have come on his fastball.
More to Leody Taveras now, and Leody takes a strike right on the inside corner, and that was a sweeper or slider. Leody deep in the box, open stance. Whoop. 1-1. Miller didn't like where that back foot was set. Switch hitter at the left side. Now they're in tight on the corner. Suarez in front of the bag at third. And the 1-1, that is low. Ball 2. That's interesting. I don't know that. I just don't know how likely it would be that Leody would want to bunt in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, they're thinking bunt for a hit. They just want to take it away. Chance that they prefer not to take, I guess. And again, if you're getting a lot of the four-seam fastballs, it's the pitch that you want to try to bunt anyway. But Leody's been swinging a really good bat. I'm with you. I think highly unlikely. But if you're standing where Suarez is now with no strikes, he's going to be tempted to do it.
Suarez back to what you would expect the positioning to be with 2 strikes. And now there is a ton of room along third base. Heim off first. And now Miller's 2-2. And that one is hit sharply over second into right field, base hit. So Taveras aboard. I say sharply. I might have been fooled a little bit by that one. Had some backspin on it, just kind of fluttered up over second.
It's the four-seam fastball. It's well located. It's on the outside corner and off the end of the bat a little bit, but that nice quiet and steady swing from Leody Taveras, especially here with 2 strikes, brings in the base hit.
So now a couple of base runners for the rookie, Evan Carter. Heim out there at second base, Taveras at first. And Miller's first pitch, that ball's hit hard out to right field. Hernandez on the run, he's back, it's gone! A 3-run shot for the rookie! And Carter has the Rangers in front 4-0.
Safe to say that Evan Carter probably has not hit a bigger home run than this one right here. When you think about how important these games are right now. How about a first pitch changeup at 84 miles an hour right in the heart of the plate? And how about the excitement that we see here as well, and the emotion for Evan Carter? What a cool moment.
Well, that has him buzzing a little bit here. Now ball 1 to Marcus Semien. 4-0 Rangers. And Miller's offering. That one does catch a corner. One and Miller, he's closing in on 40 pitches. Yeah, not made it easy on him. That's a strike, 1-2.
And the expectation here with the Seattle Mariners is that Scott Servais will treat this like a playoff game. He's got a couple of young starters going early on here against the Rangers, and they're maybe just hoping to get 5 innings out of Bryce Miller and then go into the big arms they have in the pen, but he may not get there tonight.
He strikes out Semien, 2 gone.
All right, time now for our AT&T Fiber fast pitch as we take a look at Bryce Miller this season and the splits. How about this? Left-handed hitters compared to right-handed hitters, and lefties have done a lot of damage, not just with the batting average, but you look at the difference in OPS, the on-base plus slugging. That is significant in this inning. That certainly has come true for the Rangers. For Heim and Taveras, the 2 switch hitters hitting left-handed, a couple of base hits, and then Evan Carter, the straight lefty, with the home run. So for lefties tonight, what, 4 for 5 against Bryce Miller.
4 for 5 with 2 homers. So it has been impressive. Seager had 1 of them. And that's off the plate. 2-1. He's 26 pitches into the inning after a 17 pitch first. Those are great numbers for Seager against Seattle in this building. Inside, 3-1. And of course, it was his brother who played for Seattle who used to just be an absolute menace to Rangers pitching. So it's only fair, really. The 3-1, and that's on the ground, first base. A sliding stop by France. He feeds Miller, and the inning is done. But the Rangers add 3 more runs in the second inning. Another left-handed stick. It was the rookie, Evan Carter, with his 3rd big league homer. Well, not a lot of time left, but you can still stream every out-of-market game live or on demand. All minor league games as well this year. Visit MLB.tv for details. Off we go here in the 3rd inning. 4-0 Rangers with the lead. Dane Dunning jumps ahead with a strike. Sneaks another one in there as well, and it's 0-2 to Dominic Canzone. Designated hitter, and he flips this one out into left field. Carter coming in and toward the line. He makes the catch, 1 away. We have a moment now to hear from Kia.
The all-powerful Kia SUVs assembled in Georgia.
So with 1 away, Josh Rojas. Left-handed hitting middle infielder, and he takes ball one. Well, Dunning looking good here early on. Pulls that one a little bit too far inside 2-0. The right-hander got ground balls to the first 4 hitters, a couple of strikeouts last inning as well. And this one's lifted back of third base. Young letting everybody know he'll handle it. He does. 2 away. And suddenly 2 outs in the air here, and it'll bring up J.P. Crawford.
See if he is as aggressive as he was to start this game. You remember he swung at the first pitch. Dane Dunning got himself a nice ground ball on that 2-seam fastball. After 2 outs and nobody on, feels like he probably would take one.
He does, and he gets a backdoor slider for strike 1. Been a good year for Crawford. Did not go 1-1. You saw that note about the home runs, but also a .378 on base average this year. He's done a really good job up at the top of the order for Seattle, and he'll take a high strike. It's 1-2.
It's a career high for him. He's always been a good on base guy. His career on base percentage is .343, but that is a next level number for him at .378. He's always had the good glove, right? Won the Gold Glove back in 2020. You don't see it too often where you're adding power and getting on base more. You feel like usually something gives there with some more swing and miss.
Well, chopper out in front of the plate, but that's foul. It was briefly out in front of the plate, but
awkward.
Spun back. That was weird.
You don't see a ball necessarily hit the plate and then land where that one did. That had all kinds of spin on it.
It stays the ball and 2 strikes on Crawford. Dunning 8 pitches in the first inning, 16 pitches last inning. And a chance to make this a quick 3rd inning if he can get Crawford. And the more efficient good starters can be for the Rangers, the better. Not to overstate the obvious. Get these starters as deep as they can. The 1-2 pitch just misses a little bit high. Dunning right back at him, and this ball is high in the air out to short center field. Coming in for Taveras. He calls everybody off, and it's a 12-pitch 3rd inning.
Well, it's not fun popping out, Dave, and sometimes it's going to make you a little bit angry. How about J.P. Crawford here? Slam it down. No break.
Choctaw Casinos and Resorts and Jexa Energy. Get more free electricity every weekend with Jexa Energy. Well, we're off to a good start in this series tonight. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Rangers with a 4-0 advantage. Nathaniel Lowe will lead it off. Then Josh Young and Adolis Garcia. Bryce Miller back to work, and a breaking ball does find the inside corner for a strike. Lowe thought otherwise. Grounded out of the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Take a little bit tight here. 1 ball, 1 strike. And they've already put some pitches on Miller tonight. Trying to drive that count up as high as they can, as quickly as they can. And Lowe hits this in the air out to left center. Decent run out there for Rodriguez. He gets to it. And that is the first out of the inning. Well, American League Division Series tickets for Rangers home games go on sale Monday at Rangers.com/postseason. Those are sweet words to say. ALDS tickets on sale. The Rangers have a little work ahead of them yet. Josh Young, the batter. He'll take strike 1.
What a place to be, right? With 10 games left to go. Rangers fighting for a postseason spot, still fighting for an American League West division title. All those things are very much on the table right now. So even thinking about purchasing postseason tickets is exciting. The question becomes when and where, what round, right? And of course, win your division, and you could be looking at a bye, being the 2nd seed. You can check. I know the Twins have been playing better.
On a 4-game lead right now for the Astros, currently leading the division over Minnesota.
Okay.
Ground ball up the middle to his left for Crawford, and he takes care of Young. 2 away. Crawford, a very sure-handed shortstop. Nice play there. And it brings up Adolis Garcia. Garcia 0 for 1, flew out to right field in the 1st inning. And he shoots that one foul. That's a good note right there. Garcia came back for that Red Sox series, and he got on base at a pretty good clip. It's just 3 games. But to me, it was the way he got on base that was so impressive. He bounces this one deep to 3rd, and Suarez throws him out. And we'll probably talk about that at some point tonight. An 8-pitch half inning right there for the rookie Miller. It's still 4-0 Rangers.
In the 4th inning, and how about the difference a half a season can make for him? We saw him at the beginning of the year. It didn't look right. We tried to move him around the order, and since the All-Star break, he has been terrific. You can see the numbers there with the .336 batting average, OPS over 1,000 for him. They dropped him, what, the 6th at one point, then the 3rd looked like, and we see him here batting 2nd and looking like his old self. It's almost like making that All-Star team, which, numbers to numbers, he probably didn't deserve, changed his year.
He taps one back to the mound. Nice play made by Dunning. It's not routine to get Rodriguez, who can really move down the line.
Nicer.
But he got it.
And he can steal some bases as well. It's a really good play by Dane Dunning. When you're a sinker ball pitcher and you get a lot of ground balls, you've got to be able to field your position because you're going to get a lot of action. You know, when I say Julio Rodriguez didn't deserve to make the All-Star team, or might not have deserved to make it, I say that without objective eyes, because I feel like Durant should have been on that All-Star team, or Tavares ahead of him.
Bouncer to 3rd, and Raleigh retired quickly. Back-to-back ground ball outs. Well, you sound like an angry, kind of malicious person, to be honest.
Super mad right now. It's been bothering me since the All-Star game, actually. I haven't been able to sleep.
Just kind of get over it.
Well, here's the thing, and I know it's gone, nothing to do about it. Leody did such a great first half, and he's gotten it back now and swinging about well here in September. But you just never know when those opportunities are going to come up. And from a number standpoint, both him and Ezekiel Duran, it wasn't close. Much better than Julio Rodriguez.
No, it wasn't close, both in terms of their individual performances and then what that meant to their teams. But you do understand part of the process and how those things tend to work is Dunning deals up and in. So I talked to Scott Service today before the ball game, and I asked him about the slow start they had and just trying to figure out, maybe why some of that might have been. Was it a hangover from last year's regular season and then postseason? And he said, I think having the All-Star game at home, and the expectations went from, hey, it'd be cool if they ever made the postseason again, to like, hey, these guys are going to make a run now. And he said, I think we had a lot of young players who felt like, man, I got to make the All-Star team. We got to come out of the gates, play well, get that All-Star nod because it's in our hometown. And he said, I think there was a lot of just sort of self-imposed pressure that those guys were dealing with in that first half. He says, boy, I tell you what, after we got through the All-Star break, saw a much different Julio Rodriguez, that's for sure.
Fascinating thought, right? With the Rangers, obviously the Rangers aren't a young team, but haven't been to the postseason since 2016. Obviously not nearly as long as the Mariners, but a somewhat similar situation. All-Star game is going to be here next year. Expectations rising, and quite honestly, the hope that there will be a run of postseason appearances coming up. And you could put maybe Josh Young in that category, but he's already made an All-Star team, so I don't feel like they'll feel that pressure necessarily as a young group the way that the Mariners may have this year. Or maybe they do. I mean, it was so cool watching 6 Rangers go to the All-Star game. Like, oh, it's going to be even better next year. That's a big assumption to try to make.
Full count on Teoscar Hernandez. Yeah, I guess, it never really crossed my mind, but with the All-Star game being in your hometown, with all the excitement surrounding that team. I mean, it makes sense that those guys would be thinking that way. Hey, get off to a great start, man. Make the All-Star game. It'll be fun. Hernandez takes the walk here with 2 out. And here is Eugenio Suarez. Now, Hernandez just the second base runner so far tonight for Seattle. The other one was a Kelenic walk in the 2nd inning. Suarez struck out looking, and he hits this one up the middle. A backhand pick by Semien, and he'll go to the bag. That ends the inning. Last of the 4th coming up here this evening. Rangers on top 4-0. To you by Daspit Law, helping injured Texans. 4-0. Rangers with the lead. Very important game here tonight. Huge series. It's the final home series of the regular season for the Rangers. They will wrap up this season on the road in Anaheim and then in Seattle. Jonah Heim goes after the first pitch, got under it, and a fly ball out to right field is the first out of the inning. Check in with Emily.
Chevy under the hood time. Tonight we find Mitchell Garver. Pre-game routine involves a little ping pong, dugout snacking on sunflower seeds, roasted kettle to be exact. And if he wasn't playing baseball, he would be a ballerina, which just tells you we've reached a point in the season where these dudes are tired of answering my questions and full of bits, and I'm here for it.
Oh, you don't think it's accurate? He wasn't being honest?
I mean, there was a little smirk on his face, and I may have even thrown out the idea of the ballerina, and he went with it.
Because, like, if Max Kepler answers with that, I mean,
yeah,
you'd have to say, like, oh, okay, well, I guess that would be legit. Kepler, the Minnesota Twins. But and as much as it was Garver, yeah, I'm guessing that he just wasn't willing to put the energy into the answer. 1-1, and that's in the dirt. You know, maybe that's the right move. Maybe your energy is better spent elsewhere this time of year. Rangers in a dogfight right now for a playoff spot. And the 2-1. Fouled away. Just a half game back of Houston for the division lead. Tied with Seattle in a technical sense for a wild card, but they have the tiebreaker with Seattle. That's high. They have won 5 of the 6 head-to-head games so far. And by virtue of that, the Rangers would be awarded the playoff spot over Seattle if it were to come to a tie situation. 60th pitch of the night for Miller, and it's grounded to shortstop. Crawford throws it across the diamond in time. Garver retired, and he'll tiptoe his way back into the dugout.
Well, all of a sudden, Bryce Miller looking pretty comfortable and getting settled in. The Rangers did some really nice damage against him for the first 2 innings. He retired the last 2 there, and now we're looking at 7 in a row. Where's my math?
Yeah, 7 straight. Man, that's hit sharply foul. Corey Ragsdale down there at first base. It's not often that he's really tested on a foul ball, but that one definitely got the heart pumping. He was moving. 1 strike pitch, and that's popped up near second base. Rojas takes control, and it's a 1-2-3 4th inning. That's back-to-back really good innings by Bryce Miller now. 5th inning has arrived. It's still 4-0. Fifth inning tonight, presented by Audi. It is a City Connect Friday. the final City Connect Friday. We'll have a City Connect Saturday tomorrow. Rangers and Mariners 4-0. Rangers leading here, and it'll be Kelenic, France, and Canzone for Seattle.
Need to get one of those City Connect TX lights for the front yard.
Base hit by Kelenic down into the right field corner. He'll try for two. Here comes the throw, not in time. Seattle gets its first hit tonight. A leadoff double by Kelenic in the 5th.
And he does it against the Dane Dunning slider here. This one kind of sits in the middle. They're trying to throw the backdoor slider. We talk about it often. It's a dangerous pitch. When you execute and you leave it on the outside corner, it's a great pitch. But if you miss over the plate, it comes into the bat of a left-handed hitter the way that one did. Give Kelenic some credit here for hustling and recognizing the arm of Adolis Garcia.
Well, he's out there at second for Ty France. And France puts it on the ground, third base. Young looks Kelenic back. And France retired, one away. Good job by Josh Young.
So you get to this part of the order now with Canzone and then Josh Rojas, two guys that came over from the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Seattle Mariners were in a position to do something that most teams could not, and that was deal from your bullpen while you're contending. And they traded away their closer. It's kind of amazing to see, and they really haven't missed a beat. Their bullpen has been good all year long, but to make a move like that, I think when you're contending, you know, guys get hurt, even though you might be deep in your bullpen. Seems a little risky, but it has worked out pretty well.
Bouncer back to the mound. Great play by Dunning, and he gets Canzone.
I mentioned it earlier, right? The ability to field your position, really important when you're a pitcher like Dane Dunning, and this one comes back at him a little quickly. It's off the changeup. He does some excellent work. By the way, it's Paul Sewald that went over, of course, from Seattle to Arizona. But Rojas, who's batting right now, has helped them out quite a bit. Although you can see him struggling here over his last 10 at-bats.
Rojas popped out in the 3rd inning. That last bouncer back to the mound. It's a 9th ground ball out for Dunning. And this one in the air, right field. Playable out there for Garcia. So a leadoff double by Kelenic, but nothing after that. Dunning cruising. 6 pitches in the 5th, and the Rangers lead 4-0. All right, it is time for the last of the 5th inning, presented by Audi. Inside here at Globe Life Field tonight. Great crowd on hand. It is the largest series of the year here at home for the Rangers. Tied with Seattle in the standings coming into play tonight. They have a 4-0 lead, and the rookie Evan Carter will lead it off here, and he takes upstairs ball 1. He homered in the 2nd inning against Miller. A 3-run shot. They're tight at 3rd base. And this one is outside. 2-0. Miller is 65th pitch of the night. Carter fouls it away. 2-1.
Let's go ahead and take it back to the 2nd inning, and the big home run off of this changeup right down the heart of the plate, and Evan Carter, his 3rd home run in his very brief big league career. But that's probably the most emotion I think that we have seen from him when he went from 1st to 2nd, screaming a little bit, pointing out to the bullpen, and then as he was crossing home plate and giving high fives. That's the question. Write that one down. Was that one of the biggest home runs of your career? Think about obviously amateur and all, maybe fun stuff that might have happened along the way, but it's got to be up there.
Come on, that's not even a question.
If he hit a walk-off like in a, you know, in a high school state championship or something.
Not even half as big as that one.
You're right.
Inside, full count. I mean, that's a monstrous home run. These are every game right now must win. We've talked about it, right? This being the beginning of the playoffs, really. outside, ball 4. And there's another great at bat by Carter. He draws the leadoff walk. Our Choctaw Casinos and Resorts game within the game. And boy, Marcus Semien in the division this year. Most hits by any player against his own division, with 58 of them. But he's just raked against the West. 37 average and slug of almost 600. And he shoots this out to center. Rodriguez is there. 1 away. CJ, let me apologize. I don't mean to be so argumentative, but I do think it was.
No, it's a good point.
Home run.
Listen, if I have a thought and it's in crazy land, pull me back into reality.
Yeah, like I can pull anyone into reality.
Your reality, your version of reality.
Speaking of reality, sometimes you wonder how much is real for Corey Seager. This has been a wild season for him. A little pickoff gets away at first, but Carter holds. Really, for the first time this year, Corey Seager has looked moderately human in this last week. When we say that, he homered on the first pitch he saw tonight. It's right back into form immediately. Strike 1 on him here. I think a question was proposed to Bruce Bochy today about the Corey Seager quote-unquote mini slump of 5 games. That's outside. 1-1. But really, it's the first time anyone's been able to ask Bruce Bochy about anything concerning with regard to Seager. He's been so consistently good this year. Long hold. And Miller's 1-1. Man, he got Seager way out in front on that changeup. Looks like they've got a couple of pitchers out there. The lefty Saucedo, the right-hander Trent Thornton. Loosening for Seattle. Carter running. The pitch in the dirt. And Carter has his 3rd stolen base of his young career.
And he had a really good jump here. Just a 6th stolen base against Bryce Miller this season, but a good look at the jump. We know about the great speed, and he finds himself in scoring position here with 1 out.
Chance for Seager to drive him in now with something as simple as a base hit. It's in the dirt. 3-2. Seager homered in the first, grounded out in the 2nd inning. Another 3-ball count for Miller. His 5th so far here tonight. On the payoff, Seager hits it hard out over second. That gets down, base hit. Good read by Carter, but they'll hold him. A small hesitation, just had to make sure it got over the infield. And so he'll stop at 3rd on the single by Seager.
It's good at bat here from Corey Seager. We don't see plate appearances go very deep. We know how aggressive he is, but after fighting off some changeups, some fastballs, he gets a little breaking ball there. That's that sweeping slider we talked about that hasn't looked that sharp tonight for Bryce Miller. And you can see Evan Carter, he's thinking about it a little bit. Now, of course, he's also picking up Tony Beasley, and the smart play there is to be really careful because with Hernandez out in right field, about 12 assists for him, tied for the most in Major League Baseball. Adolis Garcia is right behind him, and so everybody aware of that. And with just 1 out in the middle of the order and potentially getting into the bullpen as Bryce Miller's got his back against the wall, you don't want to take an unnecessary risk.
Well, this is interesting. That's going to do it for Bryce Miller. And we'll go to the bullpen in the 5th inning. Rangers have jumped out 4-0, threatening for more here in the 5th. Tonight, before the ball game, Igor Juan Gonzalez honored beforehand. He was inducted into the Rangers Hall of Fame in 2015. Tom Grieve putting on his jacket. Been nearly 20 years since Juan Gunn had made an appearance here in Arlington. So great to see one of the all-time greats back here and being greeted by the fans. There's Tag. Speaking of all-time greats, got the glove, ready to make a play. His wife Kathy right by his side.
About how great Juan Gonzalez still looks. 53 years old. I've said it often. Not sure anybody looked better in a baseball uniform. He was an absolute stud. Got to call him a teammate here in Texas, and also in Detroit when he got traded there, which I know he didn't love necessarily getting traded to Detroit. Who can forget that 1996 American League Division Series against the Yankees, in which he had 5 home runs in 16 at-bats. He tore them up and then tried to trade for him. People may not know that. I don't know how public it was at the time, but when he was a Detroit Tiger in 2000, the New York Yankees inquired and tried to trade for Juan Gonzalez. Didn't happen, obviously.
Well, he was the man in the early to mid 90s. My goodness. Nathaniel Lowe at the plate, and he swings through that one. It's 1-2 on Lowe. He is grounded out and flied out tonight. He has runners on the corners. Carter at third, Seager at first base. Chance for the Rangers to add to this lead. Taylor Saucedo, the new pitcher, and the lefty's offering, bounced down to first base. The throw will go to second for one. On to first, not in time. Lowe hustling down the line, picks up an RBI. It's 5-0.
I tell you, kind of surprising that Ty France tried to turn this double play with Evan Carter. You know he's going to be running. This is a really difficult turn, even with Nathaniel Lowe as the runner. See France getting back dangerous there with his foot right on top of the bag. Luckily, there was no collision.
By staying out of the double play, Lowe picks up the RBI. The inning will continue. Carter able to get in from third. And it gets Young to the plate with a man on. And he swings through strike one. 5-0 Rangers lead. Young had a double in the first, grounded out in the third inning. And this one is out into right field. That's a base hit. Lowe stops at second.
Another nice piece of hitting here from Josh Young, and despite the fact that he missed those 37 games, he is looking really good. Look at this changeup. That is what, 8 inches off the plate, and you get that from a left-handed pitcher, and he's trying to get you to roll over it or be out front and pop it up. And again, he does a nice job staying back long enough, at least keeping the hands back and hitting the ball to the opposite field.
We'll get a visit now for Saucedo. So 2 men on base. There are 2 out. But Seattle will take a moment here to talk things over, and partly because the dangerous Adolis Garcia coming up.
You have that. You have, of course, you got to have 3 batter minimum that you have to face. And so if they think they want Thornton for Heim, you're going to make sure you give your reliever a little bit more time to warm up. And no doubt probably talking a little bit of strategy as well, as Adolis Garcia has posted an .883 OPS against left-handed pitching this year.
Oh, that's way inside. 0 for 2 so far tonight. A fly out and a ground out. Fourth game back off the injured list. He'll take off the plate. 2-0. The inning started with a walk. Carter stole second. Moved to third on a base hit. Scored on a ground out. 2-1 now on Garcia. The starter for Seattle, Bryce Miller, out of the game. Taylor Saucedo, the first man up out of the bullpen tonight, 30 years old. And he's dealing with a little traffic right now. The 2-1. Garcia go. No. Ball 3. A good hitters count right here for Garcia. The pitch. That's high. Ball 4. The bases are loaded. Well, it's just so encouraging. Every time Garcia walks and has a discipline to lay off that high heat, and you just get more and more encouraged because that's when he's really good. And he's selective.
No doubt. This is a little bit of a surprise here. I know that Jonah Heim gets a lot more at-bats when he's batting left-handed, but the numbers against the lefties this year have been a lot stronger.
Salcedo really a little bit out of sync right here. That one missed badly. Lowe is at third base. Young at second after the base hit, and after the walk, Garcia now at first. Great opportunity, and that's wide. 2-0. Salcedo trying to at least ostensibly get that outside corner, but has not come close yet. Let's see if he stays away from Jonah again if they try to come in. Well, they do come in, perhaps accidentally, and that's strike 1.
It's a big time pitch though to go with the 2-0 slider, and like you said, whether he intended to or not, he put it right on the corner.
That's ball 3. Now he's in danger of walking in a run. Rangers with 2 walks already in the inning. Mitch Garver would be next. Here it is. Full count.
Like Jonah Heim was thinking about 4 RBIs on that swing, and why not go ahead and let it fly. You got a big lead right now, a 3-1 count. You're confident a fastball is coming, and he went for it.
Homered Wednesday drove in 3 runs, and that was the moment where the game really turned for the Rangers in that finale against Boston. 3-2 from Saucedo, and that is inside. Ball 4. A bases loaded walk. Heim makes it 6-0 Rangers.
That's a good at bat. It's a good non-chase from Jonah Heim, and the Rangers doing really good work here. Remember, this is game 1 of a 3-game series. They get into the bullpen early, and so they're getting some looks, but they're also putting a little bit of mileage on this bullpen here early on, which you'll love to see in this series.
And this is huge. Bases still loaded. New pitcher coming on.
And the bases loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Adolis Garcia working yet another walk, and we saw him really be so disciplined at the plate to start the season, really working on that strike zone control. He kind of got away from it there for a little while, but in a conversation with him during that Boston series, he said, look, if they're not going to throw me strikes, I've got to lay off. Really refocused his energies on that plate discipline. We saw it come into play in that Boston series, came into play again tonight, and that's when he can be a dangerous hitter, when they know he's not going to swing and they've got to throw him strikes.
Yeah, it's been one of the bigger storylines for him, no doubt about it, and the patience and how important it is for what he does.
Garver fouls off strike 1 here. Mitch Garver batting with the bases loaded. 2 runs already in this 5th inning. And Trent Thornton, the 3rd pitcher of the inning for Seattle. And Garver shoots that out to center. That's a base hit. Young is in. Here comes Garcia. Here comes a throw. And Garcia dives in safely. 2-run score on the base hit by Garver. It's 8-0 Rangers, but Adolis a little slow getting up behind home plate. There he comes.
Yeah, always concerning when you see that for Adolis Garcia going hard here. You're going to see this base hit up the middle, and a good jump from Garcia. And as he rounds through, remember he had the knee issue. He's looking and keeping an eye on the throw. Good head first slide. Easily safe, even if this ball was caught cleanly. It wasn't. It looked like perhaps the right shoulder and the way that arm stayed underneath and tucked in. Let's hope that he's okay.
It's now 9th batter of the inning, Leody Taveras, and he takes a fastball for strike 1. a 4-run 5th inning. And Thornton's 1-strike offering. That one hit well out to right field. Hernandez is back, and he'll have just enough room to make the catch.
Now, what an inning it was for the Rangers, and the offense showing up once again. We were excited to see a healthy lineup, including this guy right here in the middle of it all, Adolis Garcia, with that head-first slide. The Rangers lead it now 8-0.
Boy, 8-0 Rangers. Garcia once again right in the middle of everything, and he will be tomorrow too. Tomorrow, in fact, first 15,000 fans through the gate will get the Adolis Garcia bobblehead presented by TXU. Tickets available at Rangers.com, although worth noting, not very many. It's going to be a packed house tomorrow, so if you want to get in, you want to get on that right now. 6th inning here. Dunning has been really good tonight. And he gets ahead 0-2 on J.P. Crawford. Leadoff man and shortstop for Seattle. Two-strike offering, and that's fouled away.
You were talking about the ground balls earlier. We'll take a look at this foul ball real quick here for J.P. Crawford, and that's that two-seam fastball that you get from Dane Dunning, and hitting the top half of the baseball becomes part of it, and straight off of the foot of J.P. Crawford.
Two-strike pitch.
But so it's been 9, as you said, through the first 5 innings for Dane Dunning, tied for the most he's had this year in 5 innings so far. Season high is 11 ground outs.
Just misses there. How about this? He's had at least 11. It may be 12. 12 outs so far tonight on 3 pitches or fewer. And this one fouled back out of play. It started with Crawford, who grounded out on the first pitch of the game. That kind of seemed like set the tone. Now all of a sudden, Crawford trying to make up for it in this one at bat. This will be the 7th pitch in this confrontation, and he rips it foul. Definitely looking a little more in command up at the plate this time around, Crawford. He runs on 8 hits for the Rangers, no runs, 1 hit for Seattle. And that is up the middle and off the glove of Semien. Seager almost had a play backing him up, but held on to it. And Crawford is aboard, and that'll be a base hit.
You almost wonder maybe if this ball knuckled a little bit. It kind of fooled Marcus Semien because he was there, and it looked like just caught him almost, I don't know if it was the outside of his glove or wrist or whatever it was. He's kind of looking at his glove. Let's take a peek here. Yeah, I caught him on the wrist, so it might have had some weird movement to it. Sometimes when you square a baseball up really well, we've seen it already in this homestand where the ball will kind of knuckle off the bat, not spin very much.
So now Julio Rodriguez. Rodriguez 0 for 2, a couple of ground ball outs, and that's what Dunning will be looking for here. It's a chance to get 2 outs on 1 pitch. It's low and inside. Rodriguez has hit into 13 double plays this year, so he's a pretty good candidate for
surprising, right? As well as he runs, but also because he hits the ball so hard. And so you hit it hard right at somebody, and you'll have an opportunity to turn that double play.
2 balls and a strike on Rodriguez.
And think about this, with Dunning being 4th in the American League, you know, he's done that. Obviously, he's been starting all year. This is his 24th start. He had some games, of course, in the bullpen prior. And you mentioned his 157 innings while they lead the Rangers. Still not a huge number necessarily when you have 10 games left in the season. So that makes that ground ball number even more impressive for Dane.
2-2. Well, for Seattle, this is the guy they want up in these spots. Rodriguez 100 RBIs coming in, third most in the league. Two pitch. Uh-oh. I'm on that protective guard on the back of his left elbow, and Rodriguez is on.
Two-seam fastball here from Dane Dunning. They're trying to jam Julio Rodriguez, but it got away from him, and you're right, it caught it flush on the protective elbow guard. Doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. It certainly does help.
The 11th time he's been hit by a pitch. And it is one of those things, it seems like, well, I don't know if it's like a strategy or something for Seattle, but their guys get hit a lot, 109 times now this year. Compare that as an example to the Rangers. They've been hit 49 times. I mean, that is a massive disparity.
60 more times, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, and it's not even close. They lead the league. They're the only team in triple digits hit by pitch. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't trying to get out of the way of that or whatever. I mean, clearly that one rode in and got him. There are some guys, though, in this lineup who, Ty France comes to mind, who looks for contact.
33 hit by pitch for him.
It's just silly.
That's a big number. It's got to be the most, right?
Yeah, in the league, it's got to be.
Yeah.
You could easily go a career without being hit 33 times. So a couple of guys on base now, and third place hitter Cal Raleigh. A couple of ground outs, and he'll take outside ball one.
So this is where you got to be careful. You can see the extra base hits for Cal Raleigh this season already, the most by a Mariners catcher in their franchise history. He's also leading all catchers in baseball with the home runs that he has hit this year, coming into tonight's game with 29 of them.
He takes a good pitch there, 1-1. Yeah, he's a dangerous hitter. For the first time tonight, Dunning really being made to work just a little bit here. Crawford with the infield hit, the hit batter, and now Raleigh high in the air out to right field, and he has put Seattle on the board. A 3-run homer, 30th of the year for Raleigh, and he makes it 8-3. And that's exactly what you're fearful of when he comes up.
Change up here from Dane Dunning. Look where Jonah Heim is set up. This is not that bad of a pitch, right? It's down and away. It's not all the way down the way. It's not on the corner, but it's still in a pretty decent spot. But this is the kind of season that Cal Raleigh is having as he emerges as one of the better power hitting catchers in the game.
So he gets to carry the Trident down through the dugout. Infield hit, a hit batter, and then the homer. So Chris Stratton, oft used right-hander, getting ready for the Rangers. Dunning, it's this one on the ground. Seager is there, and they'll throw out Hernandez. So there you go. There's the ground ball. You're kind of hoping for that a little bit earlier in the inning. One away. Now here is Eugenio Suarez. Suarez 0 for 2, and he takes strike one here. Little 4-game hitting streak going for the Mariners' third baseman, who in recent years has been one of the best, if not least recognized power sources in the American League. A little bit of a pullback this year with just the 21 home runs. Well, the Rangers, no doubt, wary of his ability to hit the long ball. And he'll take a strike, 2-2. But in his efforts to sell out for that long ball, he strikes out a ton. The 2-2 pitch, and he foul tips that one. Dunning gets him to line that one into center field. Suarez is on. Well, Seattle had just one hit prior to this inning. They've now scored 3 runs and have the base hit by Suarez. And Bruce Bochy doesn't want to take any chances. So he gets 5 1/3 out of his starter, and he goes into the bullpen here in the 6th inning. It's 8-3. Is brought to you by Spectrum One. 3 great services working as one. Visit Spectrum.com for details. Well, the shutout is no more for Dane Dunning. He allows 3 runs in the 6th inning. He's done. And he's responsible for Eugenio Suarez at first base. But here's Chris Stratton now in the 6th inning.
He's been really good for the Rangers. Of course, came over from the St. Louis Cardinals as a Ranger. 2.25 ERA, 19 games, 28 innings pitched. What's been incredible is his fastball with the Texas Rangers. An .068 batting average against it. You can see the work that he's done with the inherited runners so far this year. He's been given quite a few of them. 46.
Ooh, first pitch is a wicked curveball that misses badly high. Ball 1. That had some movement on it. Works to Jared Kelenic, who has walked and doubled.
And if you're wondering about Stratton coming in to face a lefty, the numbers against the lefties are really strong. Just a .174 batting average against this year. The strikeout rate goes up considerably against lefties, which is kind of interesting, by a pretty wide margin. Better than 5 more strikeouts per 9 when he's facing lefties compared to righties.
3-0. Stratton has been very reliable. He has also worked a lot. The most worked reliever in baseball. And he walks Kelenic. Concerning. It's 8-3, Rangers with a 5-run lead, but you just do not like to see a guy walk that first man in a relief appearance. You can see a little grumbling there from the skipper. He's seen it too many times. 2 men on. Here's Ty France.
Especially when you get it from a guy who's been so good when it comes to the walk rate. He does not walk a lot of hitters, much better than league average at 7%.
Yeah, he grooves that one for a strike to France. Mike Maddox already.
Wow. Well, this is kind of that just in case, right? Chris Stratton is a guy that has been a multi-inning reliever, and they'd love to get, maybe him finishing this one and throwing another. But at the same time, you are looking at now a potential 6th run coming to the plate, making this game really tight with one swing of the bat. You got to be prepared for it. And both of these managers really, you can pick up on it pretty quickly, managing this game 1 of this 3-game series, like it is a postseason game. These are all big.
So the lefty Andrew Heaney starts throwing 1-2 to France. After France, 3 straight left-handed batters. Now, regardless, Stratton is going to have to face 1 more batter after Ty France. Suarez and Kelenic out there on the bases. The 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out Ty France, 2 away.
And there's that big-time fastball from Chris Stratton, which has been so good for him this year. He just blows it by Ty France right on the corner at 94 miles an hour. He's another guy that's got a real spinny fastball. I mentioned that Bryce Miller, the starter tonight for the Mariners, has the highest spin rate on the 4-seamer. That's among starters. Chris Stratton is right there with him when you look at the numbers.
Canzone, the batter, is flied out to left, bounce back to the mound. And he rips this one into right field, base hit. Suarez to third, they'll stop him. No sense in testing the arm of Adolis Garcia. And so the bases are loaded.
It's a changeup from Chris Stratton. Good look at the grip. Not a bad one at all. You can see it down and away. But Canzone goes out and gets it and hooks this thing into right field. That's an impressive base hit on that Chris Stratton base hit. And we've talked about it. We've seen it twice now with the big arms in right field in the series. Adolis Garcia and Teoscar Hernandez. Hernandez with his 12, tied for the most in Major League Baseball with Alex Verdugo, who we just saw with the Boston Red Sox. And here is Garcia, despite the fact that he's missed some time. Everybody aware of that arm, and a lot of times just having the kind of success that he has had the last couple of years gets you exactly what you just saw, which is teams not trying to take that extra base and not taking that risk, especially down 5 right now for the Mariners.
Yeah, and especially in a guy like Suarez, right? I mean,
yeah,
if it's Rodriguez or J.P. Crawford, maybe, but probably not. The Maddox conversation, a quick one. Bases are loaded now for Rojas, who's 0 for 2. And CJ was mentioning earlier, Rojas, Canzone, both acquired in that Seawall deal, which was a little bit surprising at the time when Seattle traded their closer to Arizona. Breaking ball down below the zone, ball 1. But they got back 2 guys, young guys they think could be good, along with another guy, Ryan Bliss, who they really like. Smaller guy. 1-0, that is on the corner. A strike to Rojas.
And this should be a good matchup with that 4-seam fastball for Stratton against Rojas. He has struggled against the right-handed 4-seamer.
Two and 1. Nowhere to put Rojas. 3 runs across in the inning. And based on that last visit, you wonder with the left-hander Crawford coming up, if Stratton does not get Rojas, well, that may be it for him. 2-1.
Oh.
Didn't miss by a whole lot. Ball 3.
That's a big call right there, and it probably just missed downstairs, but that changes the entire at-bat, right? Going from 2-2 to 3-1, and the position now that it puts Chris Stratton in, where he has got to be in the strike zone. It was probably a good call. We know Jonah does a good job receiving in those borderline pitches.
Big 3-1 pitch, and that's low. Well, a run comes in on the bases loaded walk to the 9th place hitter, Josh Rojas. And so Bruce Bochy, yeah, once again, he's not messing around. That'll do it. Stratton is done. Andrew Heaney, the left-hander, will be on to face Crawford when we come back. So 8-4 as the Mariners have cut that lead in half. They have the bases loaded here as well. Sunday, final game of the season here at home. The first 15,000 fans will get a replica of Globe Life Field presented by Globe Life. Tickets are at Rangers.com. There are less than 4,000 seats still available, so hop online, get yourself set up, come on out here on Sunday. Rangers will hit the road after Sunday's game, off to Anaheim and then to Seattle. Well, the Mariners have batted around. They will send the 10th hitter to the plate this inning, J.P. Crawford. And the first pitch, he bounces it over the mound. Seager charges and throws him out. And the inning is done, and that's a big defensive play. It ends the inning. Mariners score 4 runs, make the game a little more interesting. But Evan Carter, the 21-year-old rookie, having a big night. He leads it off when we return.
The city's Edward Olivares rips an RIP single down the left line. Dave, the Royals scored 4 in the first off of Framber Valdez and lead right now 7-2 in the 6th inning.
Yeah, so Kansas City trying to help out the Rangers and Mariners. And Cole Reagans with that start for Kansas City, getting a little run support and continuing to pitch brilliantly in the second half. for the Royals. I was just talking to somebody with the Mariners today. They were talking about Kansas City as well. Like, listen, man, they are going down swinging.
Yes.
They are playing folks tough right now. Looked on the schedule like maybe somebody be catching a break, getting Kansas City at the end here. That may not be the case.
How about Cole Reagans potentially helping out the Rangers to get into first place tonight? Would be absolutely amazing, doing it in a different uniform.
Well, new pitcher Gabe Speier takes over here for Seattle.
You can see his numbers. This will be game number 65. Just 49 innings, though, for him. He has given up 6 home runs. Fastball sits around 94 miles an hour.
First pitch, and this one bounced down to third base. Suarez throws out Carter. 1 away. So back to the top of the lineup now. So the Rangers sent 9 batters to the plate last time up. And the Mariners answered by sending 10 in their last half inning.
Well, guess you know what that means. 11.
Ours goes to 11.
That's right.
This one a little bit in for a ball on Simeon.
Tommy Topper.
Now Marcus 0 for 3 so far. Oh, that one's fouled off. 1-1. Marcus has a 5-game hitting streak heading into play today, and he was big in Wednesday's game. A couple of hits, including a double. Spires 1-1. Whoa. Boy, strike 2.
Okay, we have not seen very many of those at all. I think Sean Barber's called an excellent game so far tonight, but that one appeared to be off the plate.
So that changes things here for Simeon, and he'll watch that fastball up. 2-2. Eight runs on 8 hits so far tonight. And Marcus tried to check up that swing, rolls it weakly to shortstop, and Crawford throws him out. 2 up, 2 down in the 6th inning, and here comes Corey Seager.
Yeah, with Seager coming up, let's go ahead and take a look at the play that he made in the last inning, because he did a really nice job keeping the game exactly where it needed to be. And you're going to see Crawford here on this swing. Doesn't hit it very hard at all. And Seager on the run. Really nice clean pick there on the short hop that he helps create. Something you want to do as an infielder, and the throw was right on the money.
Oh, bouncer second base. Rojas will take care of Seager. That was a quick half inning. Only 7 pitches needed. All right, 7th inning coming our way. It's 8-4.
As we head to the top of the 7th, and we know that Jordan Montgomery will pitch tomorrow, followed by Nathan Eovaldi in the finale of this 3-game series and the finale of the regular season home schedule on Sunday. The question was posed to Bruce Bochy, what do you do now in that Angels series, and how do you fill that spot that Max Scherzer has left vacant? You've got a lot of options with Martin Perez, you've got Cody Bradford, you've got Andrew Keeney, and you have to weigh all of those things, that if you take one of those guys out of the bullpen, that leaves you obviously one arm short. So it's something that they're continuing to juggle, debate, and obviously a lot of it depends on what happens in this series, but a lot to think about for Bruce Bochy and his staff. Yeah,
we were trying to work through it. Dave and I were talking about it a little while ago during one of the breaks, and John Gray would be scheduled to go on Monday, the first game of that series out in LA. He struggled here a little bit, so there could be an opportunity either to give him a breather, push him back a couple of days because of all those names that Emily just mentioned. And Martin has just been terrific in the bullpen. His last outing in particular, we mentioned it at the time, just looked like the old Martin Perez that we remember from a year ago. So I don't doubt that the temptation is there to have him start. The question becomes, would you want Cody Bradford and Martin to start maybe those first 2 games, with Dunning scheduled to go the last one against the Angels? And that to me becomes about whether or not you like left-handed starters or right-handed starters against the Angels. So a lot of different ways to go, a lot of options. As Emily also mentioned, you kind of take it game by game.
Well, Julio Rodriguez in the present moment is the biggest concern for Bruce Bochy. It's Rodriguez starting things off here. Then Raleigh and then Teoscar Hernandez. 8-4 Rangers lead. And Heaney gets him to chase strike 3. A strikeout of Rodriguez. 1 away.
Nice job here by Andrew Heaney in taking advantage of the extra aggressive Julio Rodriguez. As good as he has been, he will expand the zone more than most, and he chases that upshoot fastball that you get from Andrew Heaney at 94 miles an hour.
So Raleigh lays off a pitch just a little bit wide. Raleigh had the big 3-run homer in the 6th inning. That was his 30th home run of the year. Fouls that back.
This is definitely the matchup you want. Another switch hitter. You turn him around. Cal Raleigh this year, now 30 home runs, 4 of them against left-handed pitching. So 26 against the righties.
One and 2 the count. Now he hit 28 home runs last year, including the home run that sent them to their first postseason series in some 20 years. And he's the first catcher in Mariners history to hit at least 25 home runs now in back-to-back seasons. He has been a huge part of a rebirth of this Mariners franchise. And that ball, man alive.
Sean Barber flinched. He thought about it. This was really close. And Jonah wanted it up. It's probably just a little bit off the play, but you see that little flinch in there. He almost called it.
2-2 now. And that's not even close. Well, nobody on base. Heaney trying to keep it that way. The 3-2 pitch, and Raleigh hits it high in the air, center field. That's going to be playable though. Taveras gets back there to his spot. Raleigh retired, 2 away. With Raleigh out, it's time for Rally House.
Get ready for kickoff, Texas. Rally House has the game day gear you're looking for, including Cowboys sideline gear and the latest college style.
2 gone. And Teoscar Hernandez.
Some excellent producing by you there. The Rally House.
Just lay it out there for you. Hernandez was walked in the 4th inning. He's grounded out his other 2 times up, and he bounces one down to 3rd. Good backhand pick. Young gonna have to fire it. Can't get it there in time. A little bobble. Has lost it momentarily. That's enough. And Hernandez is on.
It's looking like it was going to be a really good play, as you're going to see Josh Young backhand this on that short hop, but you're right, on the exchange, and that's all it took. And that's why you hustle all the time here down the line. Right there for Josh Young, and he's going to be charged with an error. Is that his first? No.
Of the year?
Well, no, that streak. Remember that streak he had? But then he went on the IL. Was the streak still intact?
Well, I don't know. It's his 4th error of the year. Well, the Rangers, they've been so good defensively. Well, that is a rare miscue. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2 the count on Suarez. I believe the Rangers have the best fielding percentage in the American League. Now, that not necessarily the best way to measure how good a team is defensively, but they are among the best on the planet in defensive efficiency. That, I believe, is a good way to measure a team's defense. Defensive efficiency is fundamentally just the percentage of balls in play that are turned into outs.
That is his first error since May 10th.
Wow.
So we were counting the streak at the time and kind of got forgotten when he went on the IL. He actually made an error on the 9th, I guess I should say. That's the last time he made an error, but since the 10th he had been error-free. 79 games ago for him.
He had the best fielding percentage among qualified third basemen coming into play today. 1-2 pitch. And it's upstairs. The Rangers are 3rd in the American League in defensive efficiency. Only the Rays and Yankees rank better. Rangers turn a little better than 70% of balls in play into outs. Runner leads at 2-2, and Suarez swings and misses strike 3. Second time he strikes out tonight. Mariners leave a man on in the 7th. They will stand here tonight at Globe Life Field for the 7th inning stretch, and we hand it over to Chuck Morgan.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please rise and direct your attention down the third baseline and welcome back Nicole Johnson. Nicole will now sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Four. Rangers on top here, bottom of the 7th inning tonight. This is the opening game of this 3-game series with Seattle. They have a 4-game set in Seattle next weekend to wrap up the regular season. It's been a good start so far tonight. Rangers hoping to add a little in the 7th. First pitch to Nathaniel Lowe. That one is apparently on the corner for a strike. So Spire back out again in the 7th inning. Very efficient in the 6th. And he jumps ahead 0-2 now on Nathaniel.
Yeah, worth noting that the only 2 lefties in the Seattle Mariners bullpen have thrown in this game. Not to say that they wouldn't be available, and they certainly have some good righties that can get left-handed hitters out. But when you think about this Ranger lineup with the 2 switch hitters in there, essentially 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup tonight. There's probably going to be some consistency to that based on the starting pitching they are going to see in the series.
Well, takes outside, 1-2 the count. Nathaniel drove in a run in the 5th inning his last time up, and he reached on a fielder's choice. He holds off. That one is in. It was due to his hustle getting down the first baseline and staying out of a double play that would have ended the inning. It allowed a run to score. And then what was crazy is that the Rangers would add 3 more runs in the inning. So that was such a critical effort. And he strikes out swinging here. 1 away in the 7th.
I'd be curious for Scott Servais, the manager of the Seattle Mariners, if he went on to see that throw come home. It was a tough double play to turn. Now, Evan Carter was running, and he certainly can move a little bit, but we'll see if that one comes back to bite them. Hopefully the game doesn't get close again. It's kind of a non-factor.
Well, that's it for Spire. New pitcher coming on for the Mariners with the Rangers on top 8-4. Better. And by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. Yeah, Rangers with an 8-4 lead here tonight. 1 out, 7th inning. Nobody on base as Josh Young comes to bat. And we're going to get a look at the right-hander from Portugal, Isaiah Campbell.
Yeah, rookie on for the 24th time this year. 25 years old. He's got a 4-seam fastball that sits at 95 miles an hour. It's got a slider and a sweeping slider in there as well.
Just noticed the spelling of Isaiah. What's going on there?
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's funny. As I was typing his name in, I remembered how awful I am at spelling Isaiah to begin with. So is that not the traditional spelling?
I don't think so, but to your point, it crosses me up every time when I have to spell it myself. Pitch to Young, fouled back, strike 2. I'm starting to wonder if there is a standard way to spell Isaiah. Campbell mentioned from Portugal. He is the second player in Major League history from Portugal. You'll remember the other one, Frank Thompson.
Yeah.
Played back in 1875.
He only hit 130. That's the reason I forgot.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Young. Josh with a double, a single, a run scored in tonight's game. And he swings through that. A strikeout by Campbell. 2 away in the 7th inning. How about a message now from your local Chevrolet dealers?
It's Chevy truck season, and with a Chevy Silverado, you can take on the mountains or you can move them. Command your path, conquer the trails, and take on new challenges. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
You know why we get crossed out, I bet? It's whether or not Kiner, the way he spelled it, because he was 1A.
All right.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. So was his unusual? What we got so locked in his years here with the Rangers that it makes this version of Isaiah look awkward to us. I wonder which one is more traditional.
Yeah, I don't know. I am not good at that. That is a game I will lose every time.
I would be curious. I don't know much about his story. He went to the University of Arkansas.
Yeah, well, I mentioned he was born in Portugal, but I mean, he spent time living in Turkey and in Germany. Settled in Arkansas. 2-strike pitch, and this one on the ground, shortstop. Crawford has it, and he throws out Garcia. So 1-2-3, 7th inning. 8th inning coming up here tonight. It's still an 8-4 Rangers lead. Fan Zone and the Lone Star State. Purchase your section 133 tickets for Sunday's game at Rangers.com/130.
All right, what do you think, Dave? I asked the guys when I saw this. Was that sign made and they forgot the I?
Yep. Yep.
Have to go back and add it.
Yep.
We're not here to make fun of anybody. We're having a hard time with Isaiah. We get it. It happens to all of us. So we're the chefs. Remember that commercial?
Want to get away? Believe.
And that's all that matters. We do.
So Andrew Heaney got a check swing there. Yeah, I thought he went 2, so they appeal that. And it's 0-2 on Kelnick. That's that poster board thing that happens in elementary school.
Oh, yeah.
0-2 outside.
So if you have an odd number of letters, right, then you take the middle letter, and that's where you start, dead center.
Oh, please.
And you go. That's the way to do it, Dave.
Well,
I know there's nothing worse.
That makes sense, certainly. That is not the way I did it. Just kind of eyeball it. Here's the 1-2.
When you made your Go Cornhusker sign.
Yeah, right. And then you forgot
Cornhusker.
You forgot the R in Cornhuskers. Oh no. Cornhusker. Just sell it, baby. Here comes the 2-2.
Got him. Oh.
Wow. There've been a couple of those. And Jonah Heim trying to keep the body language positive for Heaney's sake.
Yeah, he's frustrated because, again, this is borderline. It probably caught the corner.
(3-2), and that's low. Wow. Remember, Heaney got squeezed a little bit the other day in that Red Sox series, and that's when Boch lost it.
Yeah.
And got ejected. That was Ben May who was handling the plate that day. Well, everybody keeping their composure now, and there's Chapman getting ready in the pen and being asked to go ahead and continue getting ready.
Well, this becomes interesting, right? As now you get Jonah Heim going out here to, let's say, stall a little bit, but to give Aroldis Chapman a little bit more time. And then here comes Mike Maddox as well. It's a lot harder to waste time and give relievers a little extra time to warm up with the rules that we have regarding visits, and a catcher can't go out there. It's going to count as a mound visit every time, and so you want to be careful and use them sparingly. But what becomes interesting for me is what the Rangers are thinking right now as they try to plan out the final 6 outs of this game. You're near the bottom of the order. It's 7, 8, 9. And we're looking at potentially a multi-out outing for Aroldis Chapman, which we have seen from him, but it's not your first choice if you can avoid it. But at the same time, this is getting treated like playoff baseball, and you're going to ask guys to do a little bit more than they normally do.
So the conversation is over.
Because you really would like to go left-handed through Elise Cal Raleigh, who is 6 hitters away here. We mentioned how he's got much more power from the left side than he does from the right side.
There's Ty France 0 for 3 tonight. And Heaney runs that one in on him, and I'm not sure how he missed him. When France plays, he doesn't mind taking one for the team, so to speak. That one in the air, center field. Taveras heading back quickly, and he'll get there to make the catch. Kelnick will have to stay put at first, 1 away.
I think Boch would love to see, I think, Andrew Heaney be able to finish off the bottom of the order. And I was wondering, I saw Canzone was on deck. I'm like, they got to have somebody else. They're not going to go left on left here in the 8th inning with an 8-hole hitter, and it's going to be Haggerty as a pinch hitter.
So yeah, Sam Haggerty will hit for Canzone. I do have one issue with Seattle. There's this thing called kerneling.
Say it again.
That the distance between letters, like the font, right?
What is it called?
Kerning.
Gosh darn, I just told Goldie too. I learned a handful of new words from you in our 7 years together, and put that one down.
Yeah, so kerning, it's that space between letters. It should be uniform, right? When you look at Haggerty's name on the back, the H to the A, there's too big a gap.
Yeah.
And they do that. They have this problem on a. Maybe it's their shtick, right? Maybe it's just a Seattle bit that they do, where they like to make the back of the jersey look so goofy. But the names are just laid out terribly, and frankly, it drives me nuts. Pitch to Haggerty, and he pops it up into left field. And coming in, the rookie, he wanted it, and Taveras trying to call him off. And Carter made the play. That was a little scary.
Yeah, a little over aggressive here from Leody Taveras. Remember, there was one play earlier this season between him and Travis Jankowski that probably should have been Jankowski's ball, and then there was some communication here, just overdoing it a little bit. I think Leody immediately realized that it was probably his mistake to overthink it, and you see the facial expression, the tap on the chest, the universal sign for my bad. But if you're suggesting that maybe tonight we break into the visiting clubhouse and burn those, you got a partner, buddy. You got a partner.
Dylan Moore will pinch hit here. And see the distance between the R and the E, even that is not great.
I wonder if it's because of the font that they use that makes it a little difficult.
Well, perhaps. I'm not real sure that I care what it is that causes the problem. Just fix it. Make it better. Be better, Seattle. Ball 1 to Moore. Isn't that what you say? Be better. That's cold, man. That hurts when people say that.
Never heard it.
Kelnick with his lead, and the 1-0 pitch. 1-1 on Moore.
Well, again, this would be really big here. You get the two right-handed pinch hitters, but for Andrew Heaney with the slider, really good fastball that plays well at the top of the zone, you're not worried about left-right. And to be able to give Aroldis Chapman a clean inning in the ninth would be the ideal situation.
Moore looks like he's not seeing it real well out of Heaney's hand. 1-2 the count. This is a big one to get us to the bottom of the eighth. The 1-2 pitch. Little bouncer, shortstop. And Seager throws him out. Inning is over. Mariners leave a man on. Bottom of the eighth coming tonight with the Rangers on top 8-4. Tomorrow, game 2 of this series. Rangers and Mariners. An hour earlier, we'll have it all starting for you here at 6 o'clock on Bally Sports Southwest. Jordan Montgomery will have to start. He has been really good.
I gotta give me one of those sweatshirts. I keep telling myself, you don't think sweatshirt weather right now, but those are going to be great for the winter. The clock is ticking.
So Jonah Heim will start things off here, and he takes high, ball 1. Heim, a base hit as well as a bases loaded walk. Campbell out for a little more. Heim shoots that foul. 1-1. Campbell got the final 2 outs last inning for Seattle. And that one's fouled away.
All right, so I got a little manager time for you, Dave Raymond. You're leading the charge. Coach says, I need a night off. Dave, I want you to get this last inning for me in this really huge game.
Sure.
Is there a number for the Rangers to score this inning where you would not use Aroldis Chapman? Right now he's still standing up looking like he's probably coming in this game. If the Rangers score a couple, would you either leave Andrew Heaney in or go to somebody else and try to save Chapman, knowing you're going to push him hard over these next 10 games with no days off?
Oh, yeah.
Is it 2? Is it 1?
Well, I think 2 runs for sure. There's a strikeout of Heim. So 1 run. Yeah, I might even be tempted at 1 run.
I'll be honest with you, the thought crossed my mind when they didn't score that inning and knowing they're up by at least 4. But you got to win this game, and I get it. You treat it that way.
Yeah. One away. Garver, the batter, and he swings through strike 1. A good fastball there from Campbell. Dylan Moore stays in the game and takes over at second base for Seattle. Only change this half inning. And that's low. 1-1. I am told, by the way, my wife, who handles all things spelling and, well, just about everything, frankly, at our house.
It's a full-time job.
Yes. There's a bouncer down to third base. And Garver thrown out, 2 away. That the spelling of Campbell's first name is the biblical spelling of Isaiah. And the atypical spelling is like Kiner Falefa, or, you know, like Isaiah Thomas, right? Like he had, I guess, what would be the atypical spelling. Such that it is. Tavares, 1 for 3 tonight, takes low, ball 1.
I believe that you're right. I mean, believe.
Speaking of kerning, right? That poster. Two outs, nobody on. Rangers haven't had a base runner since the 5th. And it's 2-1. Chapman continues to throw in the Rangers bullpen. He would have the top of the order coming for Seattle in the 9th inning. It's inside. 3-1. Meanwhile, bottom of the 8th in Houston. It's gotten a little more interesting. 7-5 Kansas City leading. 3-1 pitch, and that's served foul. So the Astros getting back in that game a little bit. Down in Houston. If the Rangers could find a way to win this one tonight, if Houston were to fall in the opener to Kansas City, you'd have a new division leader in the American League West. 3-2 pitch, and this one on the ground, first base, backhand stop, and the throw to first just in time. Good job by Campbell to get over there and beat Taveras. The inning is done. All right, Chapman is ready to go. The 9th inning is here. Let's get it on. 8-4.
Try and close this one out. I had a chance to talk to him today just about his experience so far here in Texas, how he's feeling physically, you know, how he feels about this time of year, and if he appreciates it more the older he gets. And quite frankly, he seemed offended that I threw the word old at him. I said, it's not old, just older. He said, I'm feeling great. I feel like I fit in very well with this clubhouse ever since the moment I walked in. And he said, physically, I'm feeling incredible, and I am willing to do anything and everything that this team needs me to do to win. He wants the ball whenever they give it to him, regardless of situation, regardless of score, regardless of inning, he's ready to go.
Yeah, and he has been great, and congratulations on surviving offending Aroldis Chapman. I would not have wanted to be in front of him in that moment. He has been great. 57 games on the season, about 100 strikeouts, third most among major league relievers. And of course, he spent some time with the Kansas City Royals and has been really good here with the Rangers.
He goes with a slider for ball 1 to Crawford. The left-hander delivers 1-0. There's the fastball, and that's right at the top of the zone for a strike at 95 miles per hour. Crawford, Rodriguez, and Raleigh for Seattle. 8-4 in the 9th inning, and that's a little bit in. Another slider. It's 2-1. That's flared out into left field, a base hit. And the lead man on for Seattle in the 9th inning. And we'll slide over a moment here for Choctaw Casinos and Resorts.
Fun, games, relaxation, or excitement. We've got all your bases covered at Choctaw Casinos and Resorts.
Well, this will be a fun at bat right here. Julio Rodriguez has never faced Aroldis Chapman. So you have a young superstar, and very careful how I say this, a veteran, big arm on the mound.
Well, with Chapman, it's about command. And it was a little wobbly there to Crawford. There's a swing and a miss at a fastball in the zone. 1-1 to Rodriguez. Power on power here, no doubt. Rodriguez has been hit by a pitch tonight. That's the only time he's reached. He's grounded out twice and struck out. 1-1. Swing and a miss.
And that's the two-seamer there. We talked about that finishing pitch, and I mentioned it earlier. Julio Rodriguez has the highest chase rate of any Seattle Mariner of the regulars, and he goes after that fastball. That one was in the zone, but there's an opportunity here for Chapman if he wants to throw that two-seam fastball away and off the plate, as he gets a little warning here on the eye contact happening just a little bit too early. You got to wait for Julio Rodriguez, the batter, to get set first before you can start to get locked in. They do that, of course, because they don't want you to quick pitch.
Well, Crawford's the base runner at first. Chapman's 1-2, and a swing and a miss. Got him with the fastball. 1-0-2 on the gun.
Kind of incredible to watch, really, with Aroldis Chapman, because it's not just 1-0-2. It's 1-0-2 with movement. You get a good look at the two-seam fastball grip from Chapman, and going right at these hitters as we have seen all year long. That's a fun at bat and a win for Aroldis Chapman. We're going to see that probably a few times here over the final 10 games of the season. I don't like it. I get it. Aroldis Chapman has had an issue with stolen bases. You're up by 4. Stay locked in on a hitter. We saw this from him a couple of games ago where he seemed to get a little preoccupied with a runner that was at first base.
Well, this ball lined out to the alley left field. That gets down, base hit. Crawford heading to third. They try to stop him. They do. A double by Raleigh. And Seattle has 2 men in scoring position.
So this is the 4-seam fastball from Aroldis Chapman. So this one is going to stay straight. It is straight heat, but it's not elevated. And a straight 4-seam fastball, regardless of velocity down, is going to give good hitters an opportunity to get to it. And it's been a good offensive season for Cal Raleigh. He was able to get to that fastball and get himself that double. But again, still no harm, no foul. Those runs don't matter. It's what's at the plate that matters the most right now for Chapman.
Another good night for Raleigh at the plate. That home run, now the double. Now Teoscar Hernandez, and he will watch one off the plate. Ball 1.
Far and away for Hernandez, the guy that has faced Aroldis Chapman the most. 8 plate appearances in his career. Nobody else here with the Mariners has more than 2. 1 for 7 with a walk and 5 strikeouts.
That looked pretty good. That is a strike. 1-1. And Hernandez strikes out a lot. The only guy who strikes out more than Hernandez follows him in the lineup, and that's Eugenio Suarez. Hernandez came in with 195 strikeouts this season. Here's the 1-1. And a swing and a miss. Well, the slider working in this at bat to Hernandez. There's Crawford. You saw Raleigh off second. Great crowd here tonight, better than 35,000. And the 1-2. Down the right side foul. 35,431 the paid attendance tonight.
Well, that was the 2-seamer at 100 miles an hour, but for Chapman, either elevated at the top of the zone or away and just off the plate, the best place for that fastball. That one was a little bit too down and a little bit too much in the zone.
There's the pitch. A swing and a miss. Got Hernandez. 2 away.
That was really well executed on the slider from Aroldis Chapman. You're gearing up for potentially 102 miles an hour, and this one with a little wrinkle in it at 88 miles an hour.
Now Suarez, and he shoots this one through the right side. Base hit, 1 run, does score. Suarez keeps the inning going for Seattle. It's 8-5.
And this is 100 from Aroldis Chapman. He actually goes to the 2-seamer early. That's a good pitch, and you can see how little of the baseball bat that Suarez actually got on this thing. But because the Rangers were kind of working that shift defensively, Marcus Semien up the middle, nobody home on the right side.
Well, that was a big hit for Suarez, because now the potential tying run gets to the plate for Seattle in the 9th. 2 out. Kelenic the batter, and he started after it, but held up. That's ball 1. 3 walks and a double tonight for Kelenic. Chapman, the veteran left-hander, delivers. Oh, that's high. John Heim trying to calm him down just a little bit. Rangers got Chapman from the Royals in that deal at the end of the month of June. They got him a month earlier than a lot of people got their reinforcements via trade this year. The 2-0 pitch, a swing and a miss on the slider. 2-1. The guy the Rangers traded to Kansas City started tonight against Houston. And they're now in the 9th inning in Houston, 7-5, Kansas City leading. Thanks to Cole Reagans and company. The 2-1. That's low. Well, wouldn't that be something if both ends of that trade could conspire to vault the Rangers back into that top spot in the division if they win and Houston fails to come back at home tonight against Kansas City? That's exactly what would happen. 20th pitch here from Chapman, and he's walked Kelenic. The bases are loaded in the 9th. Good boy. And here comes Mike Maddox.
A good time for a little bit of a breather here and a reset. You have the potential tying run at first base. Ty France is up. We know that France not having his same kind of year, but that doesn't mean you take him lightly. He's certainly got some pop in that bat. And so you go over the scouting report here. Saw a few more sliders there to Kelenic and then eventually the walk. And so thinking about that first pitch that you want to throw is a big one. And that's what Mike Maddox no doubt is going over with Aroldis Chapman and Jonah Heim, and just kind of getting locked in on exactly how they want to see this at bat go. He's been pretty good against high velocity over the course of his career. I'm looking at pitches at 97 and higher for Ty France. He's a .375 hitter. A couple of home runs on pitches at that velocity, as we see now Jose Leclerc scrambling to get ready.
Well, that was a rather long conversation. Aroldis Chapman, he has been through a few of these in his career. Calloused to these kind of pressure spots, one would assume, but when command gets away from him, it can be a problem. Bases loaded. Ty France the batter. And the first pitch on the way. France hits it on the ground, third base. Sliding stop, Young hops up. Good throw. Got him! And this one is over. And we can all breathe a little sigh of relief.
And at the same time as that Astro game goes final and the Royals have won that one, you are looking at your first place Texas Rangers right now by half a game. But how about the defense once again for Josh Young, ranging to his left, getting up quickly. Throw is on the money, and what a game this was for the Rangers tonight, and what a way to end it. Aroldis Chapman coming up big, delivering a pitch, and then trusting the defense behind him.
So the Rangers take care of their side of business here tonight. The only thing left now is, can Kansas City finish off theirs? 8-5 Rangers win. We'll be back to wrap it up here in just a moment.